There is yet hope for multi-platform games for the DS. Shadow Dimensions was created by Kryptonite Games, and they were responsible for the excellent DS transitions of Spider-Man, Web of Shadows, and Iron Man 2, both of which surpassed their home console counterparts. Like the home console releases, the story is not this game's major standout point, so let's get right to the gameplay.
I got word that Mysterio found some old rock or tablet that was dug up in the construction site. I'm not sure what it is, but if he wants it, I'm sure he's got trouble in mind. This should be easy enough. Alright, quick stretch of the hammies, and we're off. These neighborhoods aren't gonna friendly themselves.
Shadow Dimensions for the DS is drastically different than the home console versions. They opted for 3D level by level design. The DS version is a 2D open expansion platformer. The game bears an uncanny resemblance to how the 2D Metroid games work, as here you are free to explore, and as you progress through the main campaign, you unlock more abilities and new pathways become available to you. The world isn't all that big, and usually you're confined to a single path, but it is nice there is an exploration aspect to this game, even if the level design could have been a bit more interesting and inventive. The DS version of Shadow Dimensions has only 3 Spider-Men you can play as Ultimate Spider-Man is nowhere to be found here. At the start of the game, the Amazing Spider-Man, the noir 1930s Spider-Man, and the futuristic 2099 Spider-Man each have their own unique abilities, but eventually you'll gain the ability to cross over those abilities with all 3 heroes, so that each Spider-Man has the other 2 special powers. This kinda makes the idea of 3 Spider-Men rather pointless. The 1930 section of the game has no stealth sections, and the 2099 section has no ability to slow down time. This was a little disappointing. The controls are fantastic, however. Everything from web slinging to dealing heavy attacks to your enemies feels smooth and responsive. I did have a problem with avoiding enemy attacks though, as it's never quite clear when you should press the dodge button. Games like Arkham Asylum have markers over enemies that are about to attack you. I think Shadow Dimensions would have benefited from this. Another mechanic I think this game could have used to its advantage is some sort of experience point system. Admittedly, you can find upgrades throughout the levels, but the game offers little reason to beat up enemies which are sprawled across the map. Defeating one does restore your health slightly, but some form of experience points to buy new upgrades could have made this game a little more interesting for me. The game's greatest strength is the amount of upgrades you can find. When you begin the game, you have very few moves at your disposal. The fight against Vulture, for example, is no fun at all, thanks to the lack of moves available at that time. But once you start unlocking the large array of moves, you begin to realise just how much fun you are having with this, and how surprisingly deep the combat system is for a handheld game. The trouble is that as soon as you've gathered a sizable amount of fun to use upgrades, the game is over. Like Batman the Brave and the Bold, Shadow Dimensions is an incredibly short game, but the game is tremendous fun whilst it lasts, and stands as one of the stronger platforming experiences on the DS.
Search the museum for the tablet fragment. Where criminals dwell, the fragment awaits.
I've got to get my hands on that fragment before it's too late.
The look is rather typical of a multi-platform game for the DS, and looks like something you'd see on a PlayStation 1. That said, the game does have a lot of detail, and you can tell the designers were actually trying here. The framerate is very smooth, although it does drop slightly when you're dealing some heavy damage to numerous enemies. And whilst there isn't much in the way of musical compositions, they are fantastically done, with the Amazing Universe having some killer Spider-Man tunes, and Stan Lee himself introduces the game for us.
Greetings, true believers! Stan Lee here, welcoming you to the latest harrowing handheld adventure of our high-powered hero, the Amazing Spider-Man.
What really bugs me though is that this voice talent is just wasted. It would have been so much better for the game if it did more with its story. A stone fragment is destroyed and spread across 3 dimensions, so Spider-Man and his past and present alter egos try to get the fragments back. And all that's thrown in here is a bit of witty banter from Spider-Man. It's just a huge wasted opportunity.
Years of searching, I, Mysterio, have uncovered the key to defeating that pesky Spider-Man once and for all.
Yeah, I'm right here.
The tablet of order and chaos is finally mine.
Dude, behind you.
Now, I can televise the destruction Spider-Man! You will not foil my plans this time!
We really need to find a new way to settle our differences.
Spider-Man and Batman have made triumphant returns to gaming this summer. It's just a pity that the experiences both games will offer you will last you about one day. And like Batman, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions is only worthy of a rental. It's a really fun game though, and it truly is an excellent platformer. But the minuscule amount of content this game offers does not justify a purchase. But I'll be sure to look out for more titles by Kryptonite Games, as Shattered Dimensions for the DS could very well be better than its home console counterparts. My next review shall be for Professor Layton and the Unwound Future. I'm also getting a lot of questions regarding my reviews, which is why I'm going to be doing an FAQ video soon. So if you have any questions you'd like answered, post it in the comment section and I'll try to answer as many as I can. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I shall see you in my next video.
All that stands between me and the tablet piece is a guy with a boomerang? And, you are?
Boomerang!